Okay, don't have my sunglasses on.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I've got my friend Morgan here, and Morgan, how long have you been in the Philippines?
Got here November 16th
And
last year.
So you're here to stay, right?
Oh yeah, never planned to leave.
Yeah.
Never been here before either.
Oh really?
But never planned.
How's it working out for you?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
I did a pretty good job vetting the woman that I was talking to, and she has been 200% everything I expected to find when I got off the plane.
That's great. Now, so you were talking earlier about you shipped a lot of things over here, because that's one thing I didn't even know about when I came here. So tell me a little bit about that experience of shipping things from America to the Philippines.
Interesting, and the hardest part was finding a place to drop them off, because at the time that I was packing stuff, I was in upstate New York in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And their only LBC in that area was either across the border into Canada, or all the way down to New York City, which was over a 6-hour drive. And finally was able to track down a guy out of Albany, New York, who worked for LBC and would transfer your stuff down to the city. And it's on my channel actually, where it's video of me packing some of the boxes. I couldn't get LBC boxes, but I contacted LBC and I said, can I send wooden crates? And they said, no, you can't send a wooden crate unless it's in a cardboard box. So I literally bought boxes from Lowe's Hardware, which are pretty thin, not like the LBC boxes are thick. And they're very, very thin boxes, but they're 24 by something. And LBC bases it on the price of the box. So it doesn't matter what shape of the box is, and I actually shipped a brass...
But it's not the weight, it's just the size.
It's not the weight, it's the shape, shape and size of the box. One of them, the most expensive box cost me $500.
Wow.
But it was a brass bed frame, the headboard and the footboard from a brass bed frame that was $500. I also shipped a Lazy Boy recliner, but it was inside of a wooden box and then wrapped in cardboard. And the boxes that I shipped quite a few of my more precious things in wooden boxes, and I actually took the boxes I bought from Lowe's to a local Amish cabinet maker who made me boxes out of the thin 1/4-inch flooring and some wooden strips that he made for me, which were beautiful. They worked fantastic. I use them as furniture now and for storage. And said, here's the box, make me boxes that fit inside this box. So they came through, everything that came through out of those boxes was immaculate, nothing damaged. Although one of them vanished, and unfortunate because it had a really old teacup, maybe like a cappuccino-like cup, normal little skinny around the top, not that deep. And it was blue and white gilding with gold trim, or gold leaf on the top and the sides. And that box, along with my hoses for my cutting torch, which I was using to protect that in that box. Sorry, I got a runny nose. That's one thing that I was very thankful for here is my nose ran like crazy in the U.S. And it has decreased quite a bit here.
That's good.
And that particular box vanished, which I'm not too happy about.
So what did you spend in total shipping stuff over here? How much?
Well, that original shipment of 43 boxes.
43, wow.
43, yeah, I got a little carried away. Definitely. Wow. I had all these old antiques that belonged to my mother, who had passed away, and I had a choice of abandoning them or shipping them. But a lot of the stuff was things like cast iron cookware. My girlfriend here is a cook, so I'm like, shit, man, I'm sending her to cast iron, along with a variety of other odds and ends. A few pieces of furniture, but not much, mostly small stuff. The big thing was the recliner and the bed frame. And the recliner cost me $300 for the Lazy Boy, which was, I actually had him measure the Lazy Boy recliner. I took it to his cabinet shop and said, make me one to fit this in. And that's been well worth that $300, because to buy that same Lazy Boy here would probably be 4,000 American. It was $3,000 for the chair in the United States.
Gee.
It cost me $300 to ship.
$3,000 for a Lazy Boy chair?
Leather.
Oh, leather.
Power. And believe it or not, the U.S. powered Lazy Boy recliner can also go 240 volt. So it's actually working. I had lost track of the damn remote, which ended up in a different box, or the transformer, and had no clue. I was in such a rush trying to pack this stuff that I had very, very limited time to even put this stuff in boxes. Matter of fact, I was awake for I think like 16, 18 hours, when I hopped in a truck and slapped on my sunglasses, and that scene from the Blues Brothers when Dan Aykroyd's taken off into the Adirondacks. And that's exactly what I was doing, was heading to the Adirondacks of New York with a, this U-Haul truck full of boxes that had to get there and dropped off so I could get back the next day and finish off things and leave from where I was.
Now, what do you have to, when you're shipping these boxes, do you have to have like an inventory of what's in every single box taped to the side of it? Or?
You are, but I just told the guy household goods and he accepted.
On every box, household goods, household goods?
Never balked at it at all. I shipped some other boxes from California, some of which had some medication and some diabetes medication in there, and just wrote household goods, tools or something on there. And that one box did get open. They didn't, and then technically LBC said that they weren't authorized to ship medication when I first went down, but left that off and they shipped it. That box got opened by someone, I don't know who, but lost some very high quality kitchen knives. Lost, believe it or not, an aluminum tray in a kitchen, like an industrial aluminum tray for a cook in an industrial kitchen. And I forget what else they took out of that box, but left my $700 brand new GoPro camera in there, which I thought was rather bizarre.
Yeah.
The only thing that really pissed me off was the kitchen knives, some of which dated back to my grandmother. I had my mother's knives, my father's knives, my grandmother's knives, and my own knives, all super high quality knives.
Well, how long did you, I assume you had an address, or how did you have an address to send them to?
There's a guy up in Valencia who owns a small shop that sells a lot of some Western goods. It's not real big. Called, I believe it's Blair's Special Foods. But he also has storage out back. Now, my girlfriend actually found a place for me. I was looking for a place to go. There was one video done of a guy down below Dowan. And I was looking for somewhere I could ship it, because where she lived, there was no room to ship even a few boxes, let alone a U-Haul truck full. And she was like, "Oh yeah, send them here." But thank God I didn't try to do that, because they would have been sitting in a yard covered in a tarp. And would have been. I shipped all my tools. I shipped the welding machine. I shipped all my snap-on tools and clamps, because I'm a welder fabricator. And they all went to his place. Nice dry storage. The building is actually owned by the guys that own Rusi.
What did he charge to store that?
That was a little on the pricier side. I was surprised how much, but it was on U.S. standards. It wasn't bad. $80 a month, I think it was.
Not bad.
And it was a size of about, I don't know the footage,
small
but
garage.
probably about 8 feet wide.
Okay.
A little more than 7 feet tall inside, and about 10 feet deep.
That's good. Yeah, it's good size. Yeah.
And inside of another building, it was you could put a padlock on it. I never did. Nobody ever messed with anything. But it was inside of a second building that he locked up at night, or inside of a building that was locked up at night, and it was also inside of a locked gate. And he had a security camera. Nice.
And so you got you renting a house or an apartment here, or what you?
I ended up renting an apartment. We started out in at a apartment called Hermagina. It's over near Coca-Cola that Bud Brown pointed me at. And was fine, except for it was festival time. And across the street, which I thought was a big plus, was a volleyball court. It belonged to the Brungai. And for November, December here, not a good time to live across the street from a volleyball court belonging to the Brungai, because we had literally almost every other night something going on over there. Miss Hermagina, or Miss Santa Monica pageant, singing contest, volleyball games. Volleyball games were actually pretty quiet, and that's one of the first things that happened. I was rather surprised by that, because it was quiet. And I turned to my girlfriend and I'm like, "Why is it? I'm in the Philippines. Why are they being so quiet?" And she goes, "They can't hear the announcer if they're noisy." But the
so are you going to stay there? Are you going to move? Or
no, we moved from there already.
Where are you living now?
Over in Bacong. Found a brand new building. 5 apartments. They had just started renting them out. They only had 2 of the 5 rented by the time I showed up, and rented the other 2 right at the same time I rented.
What was the rent?
It's full now. Just under $400 a month. 3 bedrooms. It's nice size kitchen. Still some quirky things about how they build things here that are different than the U.S. But they kind of mess up but not bad.
Got a pool or anything
and
like
a lot
that?
of like growing pains because it's a brand new building.
Yeah. They got a pool or anything?
No, they're going to build one.
Oh,
this
nice.
whole place is in the process of being built. The woman who owns it is in Belgium,
No.
Filipina, that's working in Belgium, and built it over the phone because she got locked out from COVID.
I think I met this lady the other day at the market in
No,
Valencia.
she's not here yet. She's still in Belgium.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
'Cause I met a couple from Belgium.
Yeah,
Leona.
she's still over there. She's coming back in like September, November.
Oh, okay.
And they're going to start building again. And she's had issues with the various contractors she had. Basically, there wasn't enough oversight about what they were doing. And there's a lot of little quirky things that weren't quite done right because nobody was looking over her shoulder. And you know the Philippines, it's like get her done and walk out the door. They don't throw as much effort
Do you think
into
you'll stay
the
there?
details. For right now, yeah, it's nice and quiet. I've signed a year lease. I'm leased there till next year. I'd like to get a house with a yard because I'm a welder and I want a little shop that I can work on stuff. I've got a trike out here. I've already started modifying it all over the place. And the next steps is going to be some welding to modify the seating in it and everything. And I can't do that living out of this apartment. There's nowhere for me to work.
Right.
Along with neighbors being right up against you. But other than that, it's not bad. The one neighbor on one side actually is from the town where I started my journey across America, where I drove 4,000 miles across the United States before I jumped on a plane.
Wow.
Tent camping in a car, a Toyota Prius, towing a trailer with a Toyota Prius for 4,000 miles across the United States, and living out of that trailer setup for over 2 months, and ending up in the high Sierras of California. Because even camping in California is expensive, over 40 bucks a night just to stay at a what's called a hip camp, which is an app like a Airbnb, and found this little campground up near the giant sequoias that I didn't pay enough attention to, where it said showers outside. Well, it was going into winter and you get ready to shut the whole thing down. I lucked out that he had one Airbnb there that he would let me go in when the people left to take a shower. Other than, you know, a porta-john, that's all I had for like 30 days. And it was kind of a trip because I ended up in the snow, in the Sierras on my last bit of time there. He actually bought my tent camper rig from me. And I ended up paying like $2,500 to build. I built it from scratch. It's all on my YouTube from a trailer kit, and paid about $2,500 to build it. And I sold it to him for $2,000. So it cost me $500 to have this thing go all the way across America in it. And he drove me to the airport the last day. And then when I got to Dumaguete, I ended up in the Sierra Hotel. So I went from the Sierras to the Sierra.
It's ironic.
Yeah.
So you said you have a YouTube channel. What's the name of your channel?
It's called I'm Lost in Translation, but you spell I'm bizarrely. I did a #1 and an M, which actually makes things come up quickly on YouTube when you do your name. Anything bizarre that's unusual, it will come up very quickly. If I did I'm Lost in Translation, normally you'd have to look through probably 500 different things because of the movie before it would pop up. Mine, it shows up very quickly. You'll see a little brown Chihuahua dog. Who unfortunately is dead. And part of the reason I did the trip across the country is because I needed time to try and get him through the Philippine paperwork to bring him here. And finally got down to where in November the price of tickets was going astronomically higher. They were more than double. I had a choice of 2 days, one of which was like the day before Thanksgiving, and I don't know if you've ever traveled in America anywhere near Thanksgiving.
It's crazy.
Trust me, stay home. And I picked the one that was actually closer, further away from Thanksgiving. And I literally had a week left and was able to find him a home, who unfortunately they sat on him and crushed him 2 days later.
Okay.
Yeah. My only real regret for coming here was losing him. I had him for 2 years, best dog I ever had. Best trained Chihuahua you would ever meet. I had him trained to sit on in chairs at restaurants. I could walk outside. I could leave the restaurant, come back half an hour later, and still be sitting on the chair.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, Morgan, and see you around. Best of luck with everything. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
All right. Thank you very much.